Hello everybody and welcome to a new Skyrim series here on the Boss King Returns YouTube channel. We've had 3 separate attempts at a Skyrim series. The very first series I ever did on this channel back in 2016. You want to watch it, go ahead and do it. It's really bad. It's funny though, like genuinely, I was so fucking wild back then because I was still in middle school that, I don't know, I think you can get some mild entertainment out of them. I made a second attempt when I was in high school. Didn't go particularly well. I tried to roleplay, but I didn't know how to do that because, yeah, I still just do things that I wanted to do in the game. I made a third attempt in 2021, and that one was actually a roleplay series. The Legend of Loki Stonebreaker, or the Ballad of Loki Stonebreaker. I can't really remember what I called it, but that was an interesting series, but I couldn't get too stuck into it. I was busy at the time, in college, and yeah, it just didn't work out all that well. But now, attempt 4, and this time I've already recorded a full season, so you're at least getting 15 episodes of it. So, as you see here, here is our character, young Astrid Wolfsheart. She is spotted here, right, well, like, you can't see the journal because I don't have any animation mods, because weirdly enough there aren't any on the PS4, but I don't know. Somehow they were able to fit fucking Open Civil War on this thing, but they cannot add a mod which lets me read a book. Figure that one out. But yes, young Astrid Wolfsheart, she is in an inn room near the northern border of Cyrodiil, well, near the southern border of Skyrim. She's still in Cyrodiil, but she is making her way up from Bruma. Astrid has been she's lived her entire life, mostly, in the city of Ivarstead, born and raised, but she, of late, has been living in Bruma, and let's actually fully get into her story. So adventure was born. So adventure was in her blood. Astrid, her father, Loki Wolfsheart, spent his youth as a mercenary in northern Cyrodiil and southern Skyrim before war broke out. He then took up arms in defense of the Empire. He fought bravely throughout the conflict, however. He would suffer serious wounds at the Siege of Anvil. He would fight his way back, only to end up getting severely injured at the Battle of the Red Ring, though he would survive, as would, well, the Empire. Unable to continue on as a soldier, Loki... Actually, it's not Loki, it's Lokir Wolfsheart. Though Lokir would eventually return home to his home village of Ivarstead. There he would meet a fiery young woman by the name of Lilith. The woman, her past, not nearly as respectable. During her youth, she'd spent years on the run from the authorities, committed all sorts of crimes, not exactly particularly well upstanding, though I think we've already covered that. She was a bandit straight up for a while, hiding out in forts and caves throughout Skyrim. A couple of years before Loki returned, though, she had started to turn her life around. The two would meet very soon after he returned from the Battle of the Red Ring, so probably like only a couple months after the Battle of the Red Ring. But they fell in love quickly, and they married within a year of the end of the Great War. And a few years later, on the 4th of Frostfall 188, their daughter Astrid Wolfsart was born. Astrid grew up idolizing the adventurers of the past, and the ones who had passed through her sleepy town. She devoured every tale of the legendary warriors of Jorrvaskr she could find, and spent a great many hours pestering her father about his war stories. Over the years, she grew into a strong young woman, though because of living in a fairly small town and not really having any grand adventures, she stayed relatively close to home, she was quite shy and lacking in confidence, though she dreamed of adventure. When you don't get to leave home very often, it's hard to find. The heroes she admired, like the great Kodlak Whitemane, and Ysgramor, and Olaf One-Eye, and all the great Nordic legends, they seemed like gods to her. Unmatched, really. And it's something that she could never really match. She would think to herself at night, I don't think I could ever live up to these people. However, Loki did his best to teach her. However, due to his war wounds, he wasn't great. He was quite limited, though she did pick up much from him and some of the adventurers who passed through, and some of the locals. So, she is capable of defending herself, and she's not a pushover by any means. She still wishes that she could be a bit more good in a fight. Yeah. Anyways, Astrid does have a sister, a younger sister. Her name's Saga. The two would often argue as children, mainly because Astrid is the more shy, reserved type, and Saga is a fucking loudmouth. Yeah, Saga's the fucking younger child who won't shut the fuck up. Though their personalities do, though another spot where their personalities differ, where Astrid always grew up wanting to be a warrior, Saga was far more of a pragmatist. She just wanted to stay in Ivarstead and fish and farm and not get into too much trouble. Now, the family is actually kind of unique in Skyrim in the way that they are not really devotees of the 8 or 9, but Loki is probably the most friendly with the Imperial faith because he spent a lot of time in Cyrodiil. He was a legionnaire. Loki was very fond of Stendar and Akatosh. Uniquely for his family, he actually did quite respect the divine Talos. The rest of the family, not as much. Lilith truly is the one who shaped Astrid's spiritual outlook. She raised her on stories of Shor and Kain and the heroes of Sovngarde, and all doing it. The true Nordic pantheon. And because of this, she really, like, the Imperial Lake Divines, Astrid really doesn't care. This kind of bleeds into her outlook on the Civil War that we'll get to later on, but she really doesn't, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, she thinks Tiber Septim was probably a Breton, and she's not fully convinced that he was a divine. She frankly thinks that Ulfric's a little bit ridiculous. But again, we'll get to that further on. But yes, Astrid has a deep reverence for the old god, Shor in particular. Okay. Okay, actually, let's get to the Civil War now. Sorry, I probably sound all over the place, but it's an episode 0. It's probably not. You probably expect this kind of stuff. But yes, a few years back, Ulfric started his little rebellion. When Ulfric came into solitude and murdered the High King, and launched his petty fucking uprising against the Empire, Lokir, due to his time in the Legion, his general belief that the Empire, Skyrim without the Empire would probably get fucking dogged on by the Dominion within a week, he became an outspoken critic of the rebel cause. His views, especially in the Rift, made him deeply, deeply unpopular. Many of the influential figures in Riften were straight up hostile and told people in the town guard that to keep an eye on him. The situation got much worse when Jarl the Lawgiver announced that she was going to side with Ulfric and secede from the Empire. A few days after this, she passed a vaguely worded decree authorizing the arrest of all Imperial agents living within the Rift. Now, even though Lokir was a Imperial sympathizer, he was not an agent. However, this did not stop a contingent of Riften guards from targeting the Wolfsheart homestead. One night, these guards descended upon the home with orders that amounted to little more than sanctioned murder. The attempt failed. Lokir, despite being a crippled middle-aged man, was still a legionary. Lilith was still a former bandit. Saga, pocket sand. I don't know. She's a feisty little shit. And Astrid is a naturally talented young warrior who isn't exactly polished, but isn't exactly somebody you'd want to run into in a dark alley. The four of them fought their way free, killing several guards in the process, and fled across the border into Cyrodiil. They found refuge in Bruma because during the war, Lokir spent a decent amount of time in Bruma. He has some connections with the locals. He even was friends with the Count's son. So, the four of them were able to set up a life in Bruma. This wasn't to last, at least for Astrid, because while the rest of the family was content living in Cyrodiil and just trying to keep their heads down, Astrid had a dream that she could not abandon, that she never was going to abandon, a dream that she'd carried since childhood. She wanted to go to join the great Companions of Jorrvaskr, to prove herself, to become a hero in her own right. So a few months after arriving, she made a decision. Though returning to Skyrim would be dangerous, though she would miss her family dearly, though she would desperately, desperately miss her sister, for as annoying as she was, she still loved her. On a Fredos evening, on a Fredos morning, she would leave the city of Bruma. By that evening, she slipped across the little-known mountain crossing into the Rift. Her plan was simple. Travel north to Whiterun and seek admission into the Companions. But in the early hours of Lordus, she stumbled into chaos. An Imperial ambush had intercepted a Stormcloak warband led by Ulfric Stormcloak himself. Caught in the confusion, Astrid was knocked unconscious. A crossbow bolt smacked off her helmet. Mistaken for one of the Stormcloaks, she was taken into custody and slapped on a cart, bound for Helgen. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Oh my god. God, it's my head. Where am I? What happened last night? Oh my god, what happened last night? Where am I? Who am I? What's happening?
You, finally awake.
Okay.
Trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us.
I crossed the border yesterday morning.
Damn you, Stormcloaks. Skyrim was fine until you came.
Last evening.
Empire was nice and lazy. If they hadn't been looking for you, they'd have stolen that horse and been halfway to
Oh, that's the reason why you're mad at them, not destabilizing our homeland.
Stormcloaks the Empire wants. They're all brothers and sisters in bind.
Well, I don't have a problem with the Empire taking in
What's
Stormcloaks.
wrong with him, huh? Watch your tongue. You're speaking
Not
to
exactly
Ulfric Stormcloak,
happy
true High King.
that they shot me.
The Jarl of Windhelm? You're the leader of the rebellion. You.
Wait a minute.
God. Where are
You!
they taking us?
You're the one who started this!
Where we're going.
You're the reason I'm stuck here! You're the reason my family's in Bruma!
This isn't happening. What village are you from, horse thief?
Hate this bastard.
A Nord's last thoughts.
Shit.
Ivarstead. I'm from Ivarstead.
Ivarstead. I'm from Ivarstead.
Good. Let's get this over with.
Sure. Mara,
Wait.
Bella, Kinneret, Akatosh, Divine.
My father was in the Legion. Maybe I can talk with him. Maybe he'll know him.
Look at him. General Tullius, the military governor.
From what I've heard, he's a very reasonable man if you're not a dick.
Damn elves.
Or
I bet they
a
have something
rebel.
to do with this.
Well, I don't dislike you. I'm not exactly a fan of elves, but
Wonder if Eli
I'm gonna
is
be
still
honest,
making
you're
it
worse.
mean with juniper berries mixed in. Imperial walls and towers used to make me feel so safe.
you know what? Good for you.
Why do you think? End of the line. Let's go. Shouldn't keep the gods waiting for us.
Yeah, well, I want you to know, this is entirely your fault.
Courage, thief.
Everything.
Tell them we worked with you. This is a mistake.
Step towards the block when you fall. One at a time.
Empire loves their damn lists.
You know, maybe they wouldn't need so many damn lists if you didn't completely destabilize our homeland and make their jobs a million times harder. It's not like I don't have a problem with these uppity fucking Imperials bursting into my homeland and acting like they're fucking geniuses when they couldn't even beat the fucking elves, but no. It's not like we're going to single-handedly fucking beat the Dominion. And, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be fighting a fucking war over an Imperial god. I'm sorry. I was getting angry.
Are you?
The name's Astrid Wolfsheart.
You picked a bad time to come home to Skyrim, Kenzie.
Yeah, it appears I have.
Captain, what should we do? She's not on the list.
Forget the list. She goes to the block.
Are you kidding
By
me?
orders, Captain. I'm sorry.
That can't
Please
be
do die
legal.
here, in your homeland. Follow the path, prisoner.
And to think, I wanted to be a companion. And this is how it ends.
Ulfric Stormcloak. Some here in Helgen call you a hero, but a hero doesn't use a power like the voice to murder his king and usurp his throne.
Bastard.
You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
You know, this would be great if I wasn't here.
It's nothing. Carry on.
It made my job back, getting to Whiterun to join the Companions easier.
As we commend
What a
your
damned
souls to
war going on.
Aeneas, blessings of the 8 divines upon
For the love of Talos, shut up!
Everything wrong with Skyrim these days is on display. Praise the 8. Well, fucking war criminals come wandering around. And the Empire is so fucking worried about the damn war criminals that they're executing civilians.
You say the same.
Gods, I just want to be an adventurer. This is what I get.
Death to the Stormcloaks.
As fearless as death as he was as life.
Next, the Lord of the Rags.
There it is.
I finally see a bit of the world, and then this is how this is what I get.
Prisoner.
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy.
Great. Well. Ow. Oh, God. What the hell is that?
Sentry. What do you see?
Turn around! Oh no.